In today's video, I want to talk to you a little bit about how I use my tablet, which is a little bit different than how I would use my phone or my laptop. The phone I have right now is the S21 Ultra by Samsung, and my tablet is the Galaxy Tab Book Pro 360. My tablet is obviously Samsung, and it's the Galaxy Tab S7. Really love it, but this is a first for me where I'm using an 11-inch form factor. I've previously always had a 7-inch tab. My very first tab was actually on Verizon, and I think it was the Galaxy Tab. I think that's what it was called, and that was a 7-inch tablet. And I really enjoyed the size of that. So this is a little bit larger for me. I've been using it for about 7 or 8 months, but I absolutely love it. I want to show you some of the ways that I use my tablet to boost productivity and kind of get some real enjoyment and entertainment out of it. Obviously, I use my tablet for things like watching YouTube, Netflix, Hulu, all of the things. But there are also some specific apps that I use which really help me get the most out of it. And I'm going to show them to you in this video. Ring app is one of the most basic ones. It shows the cameras that you have at home. And if you run it on your tablet, you can actually leave it running. I leave the live view going if I'm waiting for a package, just because sometimes it tells me package is only a few stops away, so I can actually look through. We also have a pool, so I like to keep an eye on things and just make sure that the kiddo isn't in the pool. You can see when someone's left the house, and it's just a good way to keep an eye on things, and it recycles. I think it updates every couple of seconds, so you get a nice fresh view on your home screen. I'm not a big tablet gamer. Not a big gamer at all to begin with these days. But when I do game, it is helpful to have a nice big screen to run the game on. So I will say that that's one of the things that of all of my devices, I tend to use my tablet for the games I do play more than anything else. Right now, one of the games that I've been playing is called Florence. It's not a high action game, but it's really beautifully laid out. It's a gorgeous story. And again, being able to see all of the graphics on the tablet really goes a long way. When I want something with a little bit more adrenaline, most recently I've been playing Tiny Robots, which I actually really love. And Quell is another one, which is not really speed, but it's more of kind of a logic game. So those are 3 of the games that I've been playing a lot, but Florence is one that I highly recommend, and I've really been loving it. There's something about the real estate on the Galaxy Tab S7 that lends itself to a side-by-side scroll. I found that when I scroll social media, I find it most helpful to kind of dive in, do a side-by-side with Facebook on one side, Instagram on the other, do a couple of swipes, and catch up, and then log off. And that's how I've been digesting social media, just in kind of spurts where I kind of get a general overview and then I'm off both of them. So having them side by side helps me be quicker about that dive in that I do. I also will often do Reddit and Twitter side by side. So for example, I'll find a topic on Reddit and I'll read a little bit about it, and then I'll be curious to find out what the live and current information is. And so I'll go on Twitter and look up that keyword to see what people are currently saying. I'm an avid journaler, and so I really enjoy being able to use Samsung Notes to give me that handwritten feel using my S Pen and my Tab S7 to write journal entries. I have a template of a weekly journal which starts with a habit tracker, and then I actually make my entries every day, and some days I miss them, but at least I have a weekly journal that's there for me when I'm ready to make an entry. Because it's on my tablet and not in a paperback book, it's really easy for me to take a picture and keep track of particular things, or I could take a picture on my phone of something and I go and I just kind of store it in my journal so that later on when I'm ready, I can sit down and really kind of reflect on it and take a picture. Most recently, I've been using my journal to track my Invisalign journey, which is for a different video, but it's been helpful to start off each week by taking pictures of my teeth and having them in my journal so that I can see my progress from week to week. I use my habit tracker to make sure that I have really great habits and I'm following them. And having the dot format makes it easy for me to kind of scroll through and look and see how I'm doing over a period of a couple of weeks or couple of months based on how many dots I'm seeing. So I really enjoy that view. One of my favorite apps is TripIt. I love traveling, and I love the way that TripIt collects all of the information about your trip and inserts it in there. It makes it really easy to keep an eye on things, to keep all your reservations together, and also have a good heads up if your flight time has been changed, which if you're traveling lately, you know that that's happening all the time. Um, this is what the screen looks like. It kind of just gives you a rundown of your travel details, and then it gives you even a map of the airport. You can look through any reservations you have, and it just kind of puts it into a nice linear layout so you can see from start to finish where you're going, and then all of the trips that you have. You're looking at my past trips now because I don't share upcoming trips just because I'm superstitious. Here's a fact. If you dry clean your clothes 6 times a year or less, you extend the life of those clothes. If you have a favorite outfit that you wear every single month and you're washing it all the time, then it's going to wear out a lot sooner. So for the past probably 15 or 16 years, I've used some form of app to keep track of my clothing and make sure that I'm wearing things evenly. In the old days, I used to use an Excel spreadsheet and kind of log outfits so I could spread them through. BlackBerry days, I think I was still doing a spreadsheet. When I had Windows Mobile, I would use some form of that. And so now on Android, there are apps for that. And the app that I use is called YourCloset. This is a really great app for keeping track of clothes. You can take photos of things in your closet and then sort them into categories or download them from the website when you purchase clothes. And it gives you a nice view of all of the items in your virtual closet so that you can plan your outfits. And it's really nice and easy to lay them out on the calendar and plan what you hope to wear each day. It's a nice way to plan ahead, especially if you have trips. You can do kind of a packing list or anything like that. And you can make outfits of the clothes so you can make sure that you're rotating things nice and easily. So this is a great app. There are other ones in the App Store, and using a tablet just means you have more real estate to be able to see all the details and kind of see the outfits nice and clearly. And if you download them, you get nice, crisp, clear pictures that you can use in your app. I'm a huge fan of Evernote, and that's in spite of all the recent issues that have come up lately with the versions where features have seemingly been taken away, and now some odd things like tasks are being focused on instead. That'll be a separate video. But because I've been using Evernote for such a long time, I think since 2008 at this point, all of my information is in there. So I am along for the ride, for better or for worse, with them at this point. And I have tried alternatives, but like I said, I won't go too much into that. I've kept Evernote and I've used it for all kinds of things. I used to use it for tracking, taking pictures of receipts, which I still do. I use it for saving documents, which I don't do as much because now I use Dropbox more for that. I also use it for emails. I email things into it quite a bit. So that's kind of a handy way for me to tag and sort through things that we have in the household. Most recently, I've been using it for meeting preps. You know, a lot of the meetings that we've been doing these days have been virtual. So it's really kind of been helpful for me to have kind of a digital way to keep track of things, especially if I'm not going to be in a physical location. Sometimes it's not always apparent to me if I'm going to be doing a meeting from home or from work or at one clinic versus the other. So having the details already preloaded in Evernote is a really helpful way for me to have that information wherever I end up having the meeting. So what I do in meeting prep is I kind of lay out what I plan to talk about. If there are pictures or things that are relevant, I can insert them in there. And then just all the things, in this example, I've got kind of ideas for brainstorming and then action items. So I keep track of those with a checklist. And then kind of sort them in. In my particular Evernote, I've got a bunch of different folders that I use, and more recently I've been using stacks, which is a really nice way to kind of gather similar thoughts. So under tech, you can see there are a couple of them in there as well. And then I have trips and travel where sometimes I might make a lookbook or some other things pertinent to a particular trip. So highly recommend getting Evernote or something similar to help you get organized and really take advantage of your tablet in a very meaningful way. I watch a lot of TV, probably more than I should, but I enjoy watching shows, especially really good shows. Lately, I've been watching a show called Why Women Kill, and I've been obsessed with it. But I have a hard time remembering when new episodes will come in and what I've already watched compared to the episodes. If you have DirecTV, you know that sometimes randomly episodes can get relabeled. This particular show is only available, I think, on Paramount Plus. So then I have to remember when I go in to watch new episodes because it's not delivered to me anywhere. So TV Show Tracker is the app that I use for my TV logging, and it's really great. It shows all the details on the show. It has a calendar feature. I think it even has kind of a forum. I don't use that, but I guess if you're somebody who likes to chat about shows, that can be a really great place to find other people who watch the show, and you can all talk about it together. So this is a really great one to have. And if you've got your tablet on your lap while you're watching TV, it's a really nice way. Who is that actor? What's going on? You can use IMDb, but you can also use TV Show Tracker to kind of look at who the stars of the show are, and maybe from there figure out what other things they've been in.